Oh man, it's feeling like springtime, and you know what that means? Here on our new Christmas tree farm, we have to gear up to plant more trees. If you guys haven't paid attention, you may have noticed that we haven't planted any trees in the last year. That's because we ran into a massive problem out here starting our new Christmas tree farm. Can you guess what it is? You probably can't. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell notification so that you can stay tuned for all of our upcoming videos here on our first generation farm, especially as we dive into our newest venture, a U-cut Christmas tree farm. Let's go take a look. Get it, Pingle. Get it, girl. It appears the terrier in her blood is coming out in full swing. Where is it? Are you fighting a mouse? Did you find a mouse? Oh, you found the grass. Did you find a mouse? Where is it? Get it, Daddy. Get it. Chances are pretty good she's not finding anything, but she thinks she is. Just gonna make a little tunnel. She's almost buried herself in the snow. Well, at least if there's ever a mouse in the house, I know it's going to be a battle between the dog and the cat. And probably the mouse will win because the two of them will be fighting over it. Are you all done? Okay. You ready to go do the rest of our stuff? Apparently she's going to keep going. I remember when we bought these trees, they were only about this tall. Now they've doubled in size. So we definitely have some stragglers. This one actually had some issues right here, and this might have been the reason that it died. Right here, the weed whacker stripped off the bark. Down here, it's still alive. So I'm gonna guess that this killed the top half of the tree. So let's go take a look at some of these other ones that are having issues. Now this one, see, this is new growth right here. This is growth that started growing and then it died off. And I'm not exactly sure what happened. I don't know why these buds popped open, but it's just been a really weird winter. It's been very warm. There's another tree that died. I'm not sure what the cause of death on this one was. And then there's another one down here. And again, I'm not sure what killed that one tree. But then we have, right around it, we have trees that are nice and large. Well, we are getting into farming season, and as you guys know, there's always stuff to do on a farm. And now that we're also growing Christmas trees, well, there's definitely a lot of stuff to do on the farm. So one of the things that we still need to go through and do is we need to go through and trim up these trees. Some of the trees that have a leader is the top part of the tree right here. You can see it's putting out some new buds right here. This is going to be a new line of growth right there. But on some of these trees, the leader ended up dying. This is one that I staked last year. And you can see right here, I'm trying to encourage this to be a new leader. See, this whole thing right here was a branch. And I tied it up to the very top. And actually, since we did this last year, I did release a lot of them, but I didn't get all of them, I can see. So let's let them go. So this branch right here was sticking out the side just like this. And so now this is trying to become the new leader. So we'll see how that goes. But he's obviously looking very strange. See, here's some more of that new growth. Look at this. This is what's happened with our winter this year. It's just so crazy. You've got this and then that. Here's another one. This one had been staked up, and you can see it's kind of growing all over. But what the tree did instead of taking this leader that I had tried to stake up at one point, it decided to make its own right here. So even though this branch was actually taller, This is the one that it deemed as a new leader, and so these right here are gonna have to get clipped off, and this will have to get clipped off. See, here's another one. This one actually did. This is one that I had staked up last year, and this one is putting out a new leader right here. But look at this growth. What is going on, guys? This is insane. This is beyond insane. I don't even know what that's gonna look like. And then we have these poor little souls right here that are still just barely surviving. This is one of our bare roots, and you can see he's just been having a hard time with it. That one too. This one looks even worse. This one's got all sorts of craziness going on, and I'm not sure if that one got scalped by a weed whacker or if that's just how it's always grown. You see, some of these bare root trees were really awful when we got them. So, considering how awful most of them looked, they're actually doing pretty good. But they've needed a lot of work to get them back in shape. All right, so here's an example of a tree that's had some issues. This tree actually has some of its branches buried under the snow right now, but it's because of all this grass that didn't get weed whacked off from around it. So he is really having some issues. All right, so that leads us to what is our plan for 2024 with our Christmas tree farm. So one of the plans is to try to get these trees in tip-top shape because they are looking really rough. Again, it's mostly the bare roots that are looking rough. They've survived a little bit better than the potted trees, but they were rough to begin with, and we have a lot more work to do on them. So definitely pays to get your trees from a really good farm. Sometimes you just don't know what they're gonna look like if you order them from mail. Like this guy is really sad. I don't even know what happened with him, but he's gonna need some prayer. Fortunately, we still have several years before these trees are ready to cut. But in the meantime, we have to start on year 2. Well, year 3. So we have year 1 and year 2 planted right here on this acre. Now we're figuring that probably year 1, we're gonna sell about 500. Year 2, 500 to 600. But year 3, I'm really figuring we're gonna push upwards of 1,000 trees or more. So we need to find another area to plant out here on the farm. And even though we have 87 acres of property, we kind of want to keep it more centrally located in the front area as much as possible. Now we do have plans to convert one of our hay fields back there into Christmas trees, and the area behind the house beyond the woods into Christmas trees. But as much as I would love to turn the area behind the house into Christmas trees right now, we can't because it is not ready. We have to go through and rip a lot of current trees out to make room for baby trees. So that means for year 3, we have to find area up here to plant.
Yes, it's true. We do have 87 acres on our farm. However, when you're looking at planting Christmas trees, you want to keep as much together as possible. So that means we are pretty much limited to the front 20 acres of our property. And when you're talking planting Christmas trees, 20 acres is not a whole lot. We planted for our first and second year, a total of 1,100 trees, with plans to sell 500 trees the first year and 100 trees the second year, and approximately 1 acre of land. Now year 3, I'm figuring we'll sell probably about 1,000 trees. But where do we put year 3? Ideally, you would keep it somewhat close to the years 1 and 2. So in that instance, I would probably think that we should put it just slightly in front of that grouping and wrap it around the right side of it. It seems a little bit strange, but at least it would still maintain adequate distance to the parking lot and the gift shop, which we're thinking would be located up near the front of the road. By keeping the parking up by the road, it gives us a nice wide area. Plus, that's lowland, so that's an area that might be difficult to plant anyway. But if we fill it in with a bunch of dirty fill dirt and then just put a little bit of crushed asphalt down, it could make a really nice parking lot. And then put a gift shop off to the right side, well, it's pretty eye-catching from the road. But that still leaves the question of where are we going to put all of our trees? So if our second year of planting, we put the trees in the front of our first group of trees, that means our third and fourth year of planting, we can do on the back end of our woods, right along the skinny strip of land. Now, we'll need some trees cleared out and it will need a lot of work before we can plant there. But the idea is that we'll have a very cute little, somewhat glowing lit up path connecting the front area to the middle area here. And then finally, our last couple years, we can plant on our hayfield. So that would be our 5th and 6th year of planting. That will give us a total of roughly 7 acres to plant trees on. And then we still have a little pasture that we could convert to trees if we really needed to. So what do you guys think? I think the layout makes it seem not too spread out. But on the same token, maybe it's not quite enough land. Now, while some Christmas tree farms, it's true that you come into the tree farm, you choose your tree, you chop it down, and you leave, and everyone's happy. But that's not exactly the plan that I'm going for here on our farm. I like it to be a sort of a family getaway location where families can spend about 45 minutes to an hour simply wandering around looking at all the beauty around them. Whether it's taking a stroll down the nicely lit path between the two areas of our farm, or it's just looking over at the geese and giving them a little bit of food. There are a lot of possibilities the way our land is laid out to truly make it a unique experience, not just to get a tree from, but to enjoy a little bit of time outside during the dreariness of winter. And then, of course, the gift shop will have some very interesting curiosities that people are going to want to come far and wide to come get. So what do you think? Do you think the layout looks okay? Put your thoughts down below.
All right, so let's see what we have here. Looks like we got some double boxing going on. All right, so inside of this box, we have the latest and greatest development for our future Christmas tree farm. Now, you might be thinking that it's a little bit preemptive to start experimenting with these, but my plan is, if these work adequately, to get a whole bunch of them and put them everywhere. What am I talking about? Let me show you. Ooh, woo! Okay, there's stuff in this. I have a remote control. Don't lose it. Woo! I have a container of bolts that are falling apart. We'll leave that in there. Oh, batteries. Yeah, it comes with batteries. Ooh, oh, okay. Ooh. Check this out. Yeah, it's a solar panel, but it's not just any solar panel. This is going to be a streetlight solar panel. Even though we don't have any streets out here just yet, we're going to be. And I know most Christmas tree farms typically close about dark. They don't stay open any later than that. Our plan is to stay open maybe about an hour or two later. And this is going to be a key part of it. If this works, we'll be able to have these solar street lights all over the farm without having to run electricity, because goodness knows our history with running over underground wires, well, it's a little sketchy. We have a post. Oh, that's just box number 1. We have 2 of these puppies, so we can put them in 2 different areas. Oh, I didn't even see the back of this. Look at these. Look at all these big mammer jammers back here. So it's gonna pretty much mount just like this. You can mount it up or sideways, any which way you need to. But this solar panel right here is what charges these bad boys right here. Now, while usually you're gonna want it to last the entire night, for our purposes, we actually don't want it to last all night. But that's the beauty of this light system. Because of this little remote right here, we can program this light to either be motion sensitive and come on during motion, to come on during certain periods of light or darkness, or to come on for just a couple hours during each interval. And that's exactly what we have planned for it. Because we don't want this running all night long, we only need it running for approximately 2 hours after dark. And that should be able to supply plenty enough juice for that operation. First, we gotta take it out and get it charged up. You know, there are pros and cons to the snow. Oh my gosh. There's some big footprints. Are those my dog's footprints? I don't know. It's hard to say when it's melting. Yeah, that's gotta be my dog's. I don't think that's a coyote. Although they do look kind of fresh. And obviously another advantage of snow is you get to see all of the footprints of the wildlife around you. So if you have any suspicions that something might be trying to get at your animals, you're gonna know pretty quick what it is. So we are over the river and through the woods, but not to grandmother's house we go. We're just gonna go install this solar power light, which I say in the directions to cover over the top of it, the solar part, and turn it on. The one thing they don't tell you to do is flip it over on its back and turn it on. And the reason is because it's very bright. And if you do that, you're going to get blinded. So don't make that mistake. Have somebody else hold it, cover the top, and then turn it on because that sucker's bright. So now that I'm blinded, we're going to put this thing up on one of these trees over here, right off the pathway. Now, it's probably not going to stay here. Oh, goodness, that was deep snow. Sorry, that was a little extreme. It's not going to stay here. There's a good chance it might end up getting moved later on, but this is just a preemptive test. Well, shoot, alternatively, I could put it on the shipping container right there, too. We're just going to put it on one of these trees over here. And I just want to be able to test and see how much light it's going to be able to pull from the sun and then put forth into a light for the trail. So the idea is to put one on one end of the trail and one on the other end. Now, I'm not quite sure. It'd kind of be nice to put it partway in and not directly at the end of the trail so that it puts more light into the middle. Now, I'm thinking that 2 lights should be plenty enough to get the majority of this trail lit up, but that's why we're doing this experiment. All right, so now we have to face the snow pile because the snow's been melting, so now you don't know how far you're gonna sink into it. And that's why I do have my tall boots on. My front boots would be fine, but I kind of wanted my winter boots for this. So if you hear me scream, I'm just probably falling into 3 feet of snow. And again, this is why we have a sled. Woo! There goes some snow. Well, you can just push it too. All right, so the other thing I have to do is drag a ladder back here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely not my dog footprints. My dogs have not been back this far. Let's see. So we've got footprints right here. Because I'm pretty sure my dogs haven't been back this far. Right there. Right in there. Now that's too big to be a cat footprint. Pretty certain. Yeah, that's definitely a dog footprint. Hold on. Right there. That looks like a dog. Canine, I guess you could say. Canine footprints. More than likely a coyote. It is coyote breeding season right now, is my understanding. So they are going to be out, but it is very concerning that they are right here traveling up towards the barn, because in the barn I have my cats and that's supposed to be their cat sanctuary. I do keep the door closed, but you know, who's to say the coyote can't wiggle in through the cat door? They might be able to. There have been limited reports of coyotes going after horses. I do have 2 horses out there. But more of the concern is my geese. My geese, while they are an electrified fence and it does have netting around the outside, we had an issue earlier with rabbits chewing through the fencing. And if the rabbits can get through that easily, I think a coyote probably could too. So it is a little bit concerning. But I mean, the geese have been there all winter and have not been bothered. But I do want to do a perimeter check. So we're going to do that later today. We're going to walk a whole perimeter around the outside of the goose pasture to make sure that there's no coyotes trying to get in after the geese. And I know the next question is going to be, for those of you who are not familiar with coyotes, do coyotes attack people? And the answer to that is it depends on your coyotes. Some coyotes might, some coyotes might not. In our area, coyotes are not really afraid of people. They see people a lot. Coyotes are out during the day. They're what's known as diurnal. Diurnal means they like to be out in the daytime and the nighttime, kind of like deer. A lot of people assume the coyotes are nocturnal, but that's not actually correct. So, these footprints could also be fox. With the melting snow, it's going to exaggerate the size of the footprints. Now, there's also some smaller footprints running through here too. And those probably look more like cat footprints to me. So whatever this is, it could be chasing my barn cats. And as far as I know, I've seen all my barn cats today. So none of them are missing yet. All right, so where are we gonna put this light? So I had thought about this tree right here. That's a good solid tree. I think that's a black cherry tree, actually. Wild black cherry tree. So that's a possibility. I could probably get a ladder up there and he would shine some good light out this direction and put some out that direction. But if we can move them a little bit more out that way, that might be even better. However, I don't know the state of the trees back there. Ooh, that tree. He might be a good one, but he might be too far in. Let's go take a look. All right. So that is a really nice looking tree. That is that's a silver maple. So the only problem is if we decide to screw into that guy right there, he's going to be leaking a ton of maple sap out because the maple sap is running. This is actually an early maple syrup season right now. The temps have been so warm. So if you guys are in a maple area, now is the time to tap. I mean, if you're in the same temperatures we are, which is, above freezing, then you want to get your maple trees tapped and get that going because it's going to be a quick season again. So if we put a light right here, this is a really good spot because we have a nice clearing right here. We have a nice clearing right here. But the only thing is, I don't know if that's going to mark the entrance enough. So if we have people coming from down there and they want to walk through here, I don't know that having a light right there, is going to be enough indication that they can come down here. So maybe we'd have to put like a smaller light up there just to kind of mark the area, or a sign or something like that. That might be okay. But if we put this light here, I mean, you can see the end of the trail down there. He would light up the majority of this whole area. And this is a parking lot light, so I think you're supposed to put them up pretty high. But the question is, how high do I comfortably feel like attaching this to the tree? If I had my climber stand, I could probably climb up there a little bit ways and I could attach it very simply, very safely, and very easily. Though my climber stand is still back in the woods, I think. Probably should have taken it down a long time ago, but so where do we want to put the next one? I know we have a lot of good trees down there. There's actually a really nice oak tree down there to put the second one. Let's go take a look really quick. All right, so down on this end, we have lots of good trees. The only problem is that sometimes these trees tend to fall over. You can see several over there that just got annihilated. But chances are pretty good. This tree strong, that tree down there, that is a poplar? I think that's a poplar right there. He actually might be a pretty good one. He's going to be on this far end down here. He's going to be able to get a lot of light from his solar panel. Otherwise, Mr. Oak would be a good choice too. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And especially down on this end, I think it would be nice to have a little bit of light shooting out just to kind of give people a little bit more comfort because it is back here just a little bit. So maybe that tree would be the best one. Now, there is a ratio of how high versus how far the light will spread. The farther the light spreads, the less bright it's going to be too. So pretty much I'm going to be limited by how high I can climb with a ladder, which honestly is not very tall because I'm a scaredy cat. So yeah, so we're going to pick one of these trees. I think that one's leaning just a little bit too much. I have a bad feeling we'll probably end up taking that tree out. So I think we're going to go with this one right here on the end. I think he's a good one. And then I think that one back there in that clearing will do too. Okay. So that is the exact same height of a ladder that I used to climb up into the hayloft. So I'm pretty comfortable with that height. My fear with climbing on things is that they might fall over. So obviously the snow is not the best case scenario because you don't know if the ground is flat and it could be packed just a little bit. And then you transition your weight and that could throw the ladder off and then, yeah. But at least if it does fall over, I've got some nice cushy snow to cushion my fall. And as long as the ladder doesn't land on me, I should be okay. Just very shaken up. So I should be able to climb all the way up there. I'm going to start by putting the post up first. And then I'm going to put the panel onto the bracket. Well, the bracket's on there. I'm going to put the bracket onto the post and then tighten it down. And that should be okay. I should be able to do that without too much of an issue. So we are using some GRK. Oh, these are lag screws. I thought these are GRK. I don't know. Anyway, this is what they look like. So we're using these. You have to buy these separate. That does come with some bolts. So if you want to, I guess, bolt it into something or bolt it onto a pole, we are going to be putting it on a tree. So we're going to lag bolt it directly in. So this actually comes with brackets. So if you want to put it on a pole, it has another back bracket, or you can just use the single bracket and just pop it on. But you want to make sure you've got something with a good size head on it or some washers so it doesn't go through these holes right here. So we're going to take this up the ladder, and 4 of these, and ideally we're going to get that thing attached right up in there. Let's give it a shot. We gotta put this up there, but before we can do that, oh fudge, of course I forgot to bring sockets for these. What am I thinking? All right, so I guess we'll have to put it up there and then we'll have to come back and get some sockets so we can really tighten this down, because I actually need 2 more bolts for up there too, and I need more bolts for the other solar light to go on the other side. Yep, it's just how the projects roll. All right, so that should be opened up enough. We don't want to take this all the way off. We just want it loose enough to be able to slide it on, but not too loose that it's going to fall back off. So ideally, you probably want to have the ladder on the side of the tree, because that's going to be way up over your head. So I think we're going to have to move the ladder. And as you can see, I'm not very skilled with ladders, but we will do our best. But I'm happy that that's up there. That's about where I wanted it. I think I'm going to take that top branch off and maybe the side 2 branches too, just to open it up a little bit more. Because even though this isn't going to be used in the summertime exactly, there may be a time where we might like to have lights down here, like if we do some sort of events, and I don't know, but all right, I'm going to move that ladder. gosh. I was really racking my brain trying to figure out how I was going to get that up there. I played with the ladder 500 different times. And while this is not the proper way to use a ladder, it definitely works for me. So, oh man. So the one thing I'm noticing about those brackets is that they are very, very wiggly. So I only have 2 lag screws in there right now. So I have to get some bits to put the other 2 in. And while I'm at the barn, I'm going to get some sockets to put on my ratchet driver. I never call that by the right. Driver, I don't know. What the heck is that thing called? I don't know. It's electric. It buzzes. It screws stuff in. Anyway, you guys get so mad when I say things by the wrong name, but in my brain, I don't care what it's called. I just know what it does and what I need it for. So I have to do the top of that where it screws in to the lights and just tighten everything down. But I think honestly that position's probably pretty good. I'm not sure how far out it'll go, but if you look at those lights, they're actually angled outward. So it's kind of cool because you've got the ones that come straight down, but then you have the ones that come out to the side. So I would imagine if you were to draw a line from the edge of that straight down, it's probably going to go out to about there. So obviously the taller you can get that in the air, the more of an angle you're going to have with your light. But again, the less light you're going to have in one consolidated space. So this whole area is going to be lit up pretty good right through here. Yeah, it really shouldn't take me all day to just do one stupid little project, but it really just does. I'm just not as talented as the majority of you guys, so I'm sorry, but I got it done. I was really trying to figure out how the heck I was going to be able to get that light. The light's not heavy, but it is almost twice as long as that post, so it makes it very difficult to mount onto the post, especially when you're short. So we got it up there. 1 of 2, so we still have to get the other one mounted. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to showing you guys what this looks like tonight. I'm really excited to see how far it's going to shine and kind of give us a better idea of how to plan the rest of our Christmas tree farm and where we're going to put everything. So while this is a sponsored product and you can find information about the solar powered lights in the video description down below, and you can get them on Amazon, which is even better. I really like testing stuff out before I need it. Like I have an egg incubator right now. I've been running it for the last 30 days with nothing in it because I want to make sure it works. So it's the same thing with these lights. Do I need to order more? Is just 2 going to be all that I need to light up this path? Or maybe we really want to look at putting more around the farm. So by just putting these 2 up, it gives me a really good idea. And then of course I can test them in the summertime. Now granted, putting them on a tree, you're not going to get a whole lot of solar power in the summertime, but that's okay. I can always put more out elsewhere. Anyway, I feel like I just need to go take a nap now. Well, number 2 was super fast. I probably could have had that whole thing up in like 20 minutes or less if I hadn't had to run back and get different bits. But I got it up super fast. This one, for whatever reason, just went up a little bit easier than the other one. I'm gonna have some serious back issues coming up probably next week from doing that. But it's up, it's secure, like I said. My only concern is those metal posts are just a little bit flimsy. So if you're in an area where you're going to get heavy snowfall, it might be a good idea to replace those with something more heavy duty. Just my thoughts. Now they are on an angle, so I think that will help with snow running off from it. But yeah. Oh, yeah, you're probably wondering. So I put it on this tree here instead of this tree or this tree like I had talked about it, and that tree down there. The reason is because this tree is in the same vicinity as these 2 trees. But if we look up at this oak tree, it has a lot of dead branches. And at any given point, those branches could fall right on top of our light, snapping it off. So that one or that one. So after considering my options, I like, oh, well, we have a tree right there. Now, this is kind of like a swamp oak type tree, and he's probably not going to last very long. So we will have to keep tabs on him and make sure he stays healthy while that light is on top of him. Because eventually we will probably have to move him off from there because these swamp oaks just don't last very long. At the moment, he's healthy though, so. All right, so now we have both lights up. They're all fully secured to the tree, fully ratcheted down with my ratchet. And I am exhausted and my kid's now calling me. So off to another job. And I have to drag all this back all the way back up to the barn. Maybe I can fold that ladder in half and stick it in the sled. That might be a smart thing to do. We'll see. Wish me luck. So we are going to go test out our solar powered lights. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see me because I've never used this camera at night. I was actually going to do this at dusk. And you know how it goes. You get bombarded with, you know, kid questions, pet questions, and Eric questions. Didi apparently got a giant thorn in her foot while she was back here with me. So she's limping around the house and hiding from me because she doesn't want me to pull it out. Woo, goodness. All right, so I'm not sure what the range of this is. And I'm also not sure if they both go to the same one. I would think that one remote can control both. But I really don't know. Snow is soft, wet, but soft. All right, let me turn this around so you can see. I probably should have checked the directions on the remote and in the manual just to see. It doesn't really say a whole lot, so I'm not sure what the range is. So we're just gonna, and there's different buttons on here and I don't know which goes to what. I probably should have honestly tested the remote on this before I brought it out here. And the other question is, was I supposed to turn it on before putting it up there? There's a button, but I assumed that was for manual controlling it. Let me try the other remote because this one doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm in a panic mode now thinking that, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to go up there and turn it on. Maybe I'm just not close enough. Hopefully that's it. Oh, okay, that blinded me. Wow. Wow. This is pretty cool. Look how far. It goes all the way out to there. Wow. This is really, really good. Look at the area. I mean, this is pretty effective. I mean, if this were up a little bit higher, so I charged this, I don't know, a week or two ago. So I'm not sure how long it holds a charge for. Let's see. So we'll have to stay on for 3. Oh, okay. So it blinked to tell me that it did that. So, not that you can see it in the light. I did 3 hours right here. So it should stay on for 3 hours. We have a couple other settings here. This is dimness, so we can make it brighter or dimmer. So if you want a little bit more mood lighting, look at that. And we can bump it up. It looks kind of cute, a little creepy. We're going to go full blast because we want to scare off the coyotes. And so we can go 5 hours, 8 hours, auto. And then this is something with the sun up and sun down. I'm not sure exactly which. We don't want this thing running all night though. Oh gosh, now I gotta walk through the dark. Oh, nuggets. I should have brought a flashlight, but again, I wasn't planning to be back here at night in the dark. Thankfully, that's gonna be on for 3 hours, but oh, this reminds me of Chronicles of Narnia. Look at that, how they had the light post out there in the snow. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm just geeking out a little bit here. All right, let's go see if we can get the other one. It's actually kind of nice that one remote controls all of them because if I lose a remote, I have a backup. So you definitely want to get more than one of these things. Oh, there it is. So apparently I have to hit the red button first and then the on button. All right. So I mean, that does add a good amount of light. I mean, you probably could put a third one out there somewhere. And then, like I said too, if you lifted that up, if that light were higher, if you put it up like maybe 10 feet higher, then it's going to take the light zone out probably at least another 10 to 15 feet on each side. So that'll help too. And it won't be so blinding. Oh, I forgot it's got the motion sensors. That's the other cool thing about these things. So it has a motion sensor, so it will actually go into power saving mode until it sees somebody approaching, and then it'll light up brighter, which is really kind of cool if you want that right outside your driveway. So look at that. Oh, it just sensed me again. So let's go 3 hours. There we go. Okay. So that's kind of nice that it does that like little nod. And you definitely can see that it could probably use another one out here. I feel like this one actually lights up a little bit farther than the other one, but the other one's tucked behind those trees back there too. So there probably is a formula where you can figure out how far it's going to light and then how far apart to put them. So yeah, I feel like if we had another one like right here, that would probably adequately light up this area just enough. The only problem is I don't have any trees right here that are big enough to put it on. So we'd probably have to put it on a pole, would be my guess. But you have that as an option. Yeah, I think honestly that light should be moved eventually because those trees are just blocking so much of it. And it looks like more of the light's going out behind it. Maybe it's one of those things that I put it on this tree right here. And of course, I'm not going to take it down right now. That tree looks kind of skinny and maybe slightly dead. I don't know. There's a couple other choices right here that I could choose from that might be a better option. But, you know, easy up, easy down. That's the nice thing. There's no cord, so you can put it wherever you want to. That looks so cool. That looks so cool. I mean, you have to really see it in person, but you've got that light down there, and then you got this light right here. So picture this. It's just getting to be dark. I mean, obviously it's darker in November than it is in January. But it gets dark at 5 o'clock. People come out here. It's just getting to be dusk. They're walking along, just enjoying the trail, going out and grabbing a Christmas tree and just maybe some little lights. I could use some other little solar powered lights, some like fairy lights or something out there to kind of jazz it up. Maybe some Christmas lights. And if we have this pond we dug out over here, we could have some lights going around that pond and have like a little sitting area. So just make this whole area just very whimsical and I don't want to use the word romantic, but just very magical feeling. And I feel like this area right here could be like the main attraction of the farm, of just coming out here for photo ops. So the thing when you're planning, basically it's ecotourism, so to speak. So you're having people come out to pay you to basically utilize your land. So they're paying for the experience is what they're paying for. And while you guys might say that Christmas trees are kind of a dying decoration, I mean, literally they die, but they're kind of being reborn in a sense because of opportunities like this. When you can come out here as a family and just enjoy a magical time together, it doesn't matter if your tree dies or not. Every time you look at that tree for the next 30 days, you're going to remember this. You're going to remember, hot cocoa, throwing food to the geese, just enjoying the beauty out here. And really, that's kind of what makes or breaks a good Christmas tree farm, is how many memories can families make on your farm. So when you're considering doing a different venture that draws people in, really think about the type of memories they'll be making and how they plan to remember them. All right, guys, we'll put your comments down below. What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea? Do you hate the idea? Let me know, planning-wise, what your thoughts are. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you guys. Take care. And again, you can check out the links for these lights in the video description down below. Definitely check them out. And I'll keep you posted on how they do through the summertime, too. I'm not expecting them to get a whole lot of charging because they're in the woods, but you never know. Well, the drama never stops out here on the farm. Thank you guys so much for watching. Put your comments down below, your suggestions, your ideas. I love looking through all of them. Thank you so much, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to give a thumbs up, as it does help my channel out. And definitely feel free to share these videos with your friends and family or strangers on the street. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you so much. Thank you. Bye.